Good morning, this buddy. Today, I just want to focus on the medical side of the crimes here. Let's start with the short history, but I think one of the most important things about everything that's going on here is a few weeks before I was ambushed and shot in my home, the ex-wife, with 100% sincerity, whispers in my ear, and there's a reason she would whisper in my ear when you're in this home. And she whispers in my ear, the secret is that a group of doctors are killing people for profit. Okay. She's dead serious. Okay. And then a few weeks later, then I'm ambushed and shot in my home. Okay. And then there's these medical crimes, and I'm going to show you here in a minute where, once we go through these pictures and these files and everything, it should leave no doubt that there's some horrific medical crimes going on. And so I testified that at that protective order hearing, and that was in 2013 under oath that I had been told that secret. Okay, and so and then I also told the Texas Ranger strain. Okay, and he asked me how would a doctor make money killing people, and I said, well, I can't tell you. I mean, there's, of course, people can make money killing people a lot of ways, right? This home with its alleged $1 million underground facility, I'm calling the police, tear gas and attic, etc., and all that. But the sister-in-law of the ER doctor, right? She was going to get $650,000 in assets plus a home instead of a divorce from a 3-month marriage if my murder was ruled an accident. That's just right off the top of your head. But basically, I just told him, I said, why don't you just ask her? I sent you a link to a recording where she admitted to extortion on tape. She admitted to it, and she said it. She blamed Greg for it or whatever, but she admitted to it. And basically, she was just so many words. She said if I didn't pay about $1,800 a month, she's going to tell everybody I was crazy, and she did that at the protective order here. And I didn't pay, and she carried out the extortion threat. But I'm saying, hey, use that for leverage, and you ask her. She's the one that told me. Okay. So let's just hit some history here real quick. Okay. The first two police reports, I transferred into Midland in 2008 as a 25-year company man, okay, and come down here, volunteered to lead the United Way drive, and I felt like a model citizen. I've never had a felony in my life. To this day, I've never had a felony. People point out this protective order hearing, which was, I had no charges. I didn't commit no crime. I had no charges, filed against me or whatever. Okay. And so basically this home was rigged, and I noticed somebody's breaking in my home, and I called the police for a burglary, and my life it's been a nightmare that won't stop. Okay. And so anyway, there's the date of my first call for a burglary. There's the name of the police officers that showed up on the first door, on that first call. Okay, well, then a couple months later, and I wasn't thinking people in the attic, that's when I heard somebody in the attic. Okay, this is January 8th, 2011. Keep in mind, that's a year before I'm ambushed and shot with burglar alarms going off in my attic. Okay, and here you go. Okay, he can hear noises in the attic. Okay, I've got a gun. And here's your police officers here. And interestingly, one of them is the husband of April Chandler. Okay. And the other thing is, immediately they're calling you 1096. That's a possible 1096 on my very first call. As a 25-year company man. And here we go again, compliant 1096. So they're labeling the crime victim as crazy when I reported a crime. And now, I mean, there's homeowners all over the place that are reporting people in their attic, and this is all the history, but reported people in the attic. And here's the addresses. And most of these I have though a lot of them I have a call right off the police scanner. I mean, I literally got a police scanner, and I heard the dispatcher dispatch police to some homeowner's house because they're reporting somebody in the attic. It's going on all over Midland, Odessa. This is just a few of them. I've had more people write me, tell me it's going on now. People all over Texas, in different states, California and Arizona and Oregon and Arkansas and Alabama and New Mexico. And so this is a much bigger problem. I believe it's connected to human trafficking. Okay. But remember back here in 2010 or 2011, that was my first call, and they, were calling me crazy. Of course, that that's what they do, it seems like, to all the crime victims. They destroy their life with these lies. Okay, so let's fast forward to January 28, 2012. Okay, well, here's your result. They cut my phone lines and they shot me with this. And we know that they used a special bullet as a plastic pellet filled bullet to make it look like I was shot with the shotgun. As soon as I'm at the ER nurse is documenting me saying there are sirens going off, the alarms kept going off. These were burglar alarms in my attic were going off before I was ambushed and shot. In closet, there's a voice recorder. This is a voice recorder that was missing for 7 years, and wasn't on the evidence logs. And just recently, I was sent an evidence log where they penciled it in hand. They scribbled out another item and penciled it in, and it wasn't there 2 years after when we subpoenaed the records. And so I made a point of the voice recorder being stolen, and it looks like somebody come back after the fact and just scribbled out one piece of evidence and hand wrote in the voice recorder. And so I'm like, I have proof. I go, look, there's proof. And because the facts is I was shot during a home invasion, burglar alarms going off in my attic, And then my cameras catch the first 2 police arrive wearing tan uniforms. Okay, so we know they're sheriff, and that's very important. And they're timestamp minutes after I left. And see, my private investigator, Empire Private Investigations, identified them first 2 as Martin County Sheriff John Woodward and the late Midland Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor. And that's very, very interesting, because the long withheld hidden police report that I just got a month or so ago shows that it was Lieutenant Dickey and MPD Sergeant Matt Davis, which remember, MPD wears dark blue and these guys are in tan. Okay, and the private investigator says that it was Sheriff's Department. So I mean, obviously it was. There's a whole bunch of other items on that newly found police report that they withheld for years that you can tell it was just falsified, and that's why they withheld it. And so there's no doubt. So these were right off the bat the secret police, and secret police become famous because they withheld that falsified police report. Okay. Now let's get into medical crimes. Okay. The first indicator that my x-rays were faked. That's incredible, because just think there's millions of dollars to be made if doctors have that low of integrity and morals to fake x-rays, right? You could go to the doctor and they go, oh, here's something on your x-ray. We got to take your lung out. And, it wasn't even your lung. All they did was take the name of somebody else, put it on an x-ray, and they just made them a lot of money. Okay, what I'm showing here is 4 months before the murder attempt, I broke my toe. See that broken bone? I broke it in half, okay? And I ran my foot in the credenza. I woke up real groggy. I even later wondered if I'd been drugged, because I was, the night before, because I was so groggy. And I broke that toe, but it turned out to be a blessing, because this toe is how I first figured out that my x-rays were fake. I was at the office of the late Dr. Glass, a podiatrist. We go take these x-rays on this machine, and we go back. He has a light box on the wall. He puts them up there, and there ain't no broken toe. And I pointed out, and all of a sudden, he gets this busted look on his face. He starts stuttering, like he's busted, and he tries to point the brake in the wrong direction, because that foot that he had my name on it wasn't my foot. They had faked the x-rays, and that's when I first found my first proof that they faked x-rays. Okay, and then my second proof that they faked x-rays was when I compared a known x-ray, once again 4 months before the shooting. That's my heel bone, and that's how big your heel bone looks. Okay, this has my name on it. Okay, and here's a foot full of pellets. Notice the heel bone's gone. Okay, look at the heel bone there. Look at the heel bone there. Okay, this is before surgery. So before surgery, my heel bone's gone. Well, I knew it wasn't shot off. When I got to the hospital, I had 2 small holes in my foot. Okay, and I'm gonna show you here in a minute. But the ER doctor described that as a through and through gunshot wound that appears to look like from a shotgun. Okay, and I'm going to show you that here in a minute. So, and obviously that's what happened, is I shot with the bullet. There's a plastic tip, pellet-filled bullet, to make it appear that I was shot with a shotgun. Okay, so this is not my foot. Okay, it's missing the heel bone. That was my second proof. Okay, they took the x-rays of somebody else and put my name on them. Okay, and here, I want to show you here. This is the emergency room doctor. Now keep in mind, the emergency room doctor, I didn't find out, till later from the ex-wife that that he was her brother-in-law, okay, and I had filed divorce 5 days earlier, ending a 3-month marriage, okay. She's the one that told me that there was a group of doctors killing people for profit, okay, and so here's what he says, okay. Right ankle exhibits a through and through gunshot wound, which appears, okay, to have been from a shotgun blast, okay, and that's interesting choice of words because since now we know I was shot with a bullet, a plastic tip pellet filled bullet, to make it appear that way, okay, and then the other thing that I made a point of is Detective Rosa Rodriguez here. She's the one that comes in. Oh, buddy didn't have a right heel. Well, that was a lie, and she's been caught lying and lying and lying, but all of a sudden you can see that she doesn't even agree with the doctor, with the ER doctor, who's my brother-in-law. I didn't even know I had. Okay, and so with myself, so that was a comparison I made there. Okay, and then I had another one here. I want to go ahead and show you. Okay, and this is from the operative report. Okay, this is from the surgeon. Okay, and the surgeon states there was a large amount of plastic and lead pellet debris. Okay, well, that's a very, very big, important clue. Okay, because where'd the plastic come from? Okay, remember they're saying I'm shot with a 12-gauge shotgun, a 4-foot-long shotgun in this tiny room. Okay, and I'm the one that's saying I had burglar alarms going off. I'm the one that's been reporting home invasion for over a year. Okay, but here that's the lie that I shot myself with my own gun. Appeared that way anyway, and so. The ER doctor, the brother-in-law right here, he said he removed the plastic wad. Okay, well, that's interesting, but basically I added that because some people go, oh, shotgun wadding has a plastic wad. That's where the plastic came from. No, it didn't, because the ER doctor said he removed it. Okay, but the thing is, it doesn't look like I shot with a shotgun, so that's questionable in itself. It looks like I was shot with this bullet right here called a plastic tip, or called a Glazer safety slug, and it's a plastic tip pellet-filled bullet that would make it appear that I was shot with a shotgun, okay? And then that way they could rule my murder an accident and get that accidental death pop benefit, and that'd be an extra $500,000, okay? The size of the pellets matched. Lisa Rogers said I was shot with a 45. They make that for a 45, and it explains the plastic is in my foot, okay? So that's a very, very important medical record, is the plastic, okay? And then we get into the third and final proof when I go over the timestamps and for the faked x-rays and the medical records at the ER, okay? And here's what's doing. And you'll notice all through this thing that I never show the name of the ex-wife or her brother-in-law, the ER doctor, okay? And so I got them blacked out or redacted. Okay, so based on the timestamp, the ER doctor orders 3 x-rays, okay, 11:37, okay. But then this secret lab tech, okay, and this is documented by Katrina Thompson, a secret lab tech called User Interface cancels the doctor's orders, okay. See, it canceled, okay, at 11:41. Okay, and then User Interface reorders 2 x-rays. Okay, well, that's weird, right? Okay, it's because the ER doctor said, give me 3, and User Interface said, nope, I only got 2. Well, why did User Interface do that? Well, that's because they were faking x-rays, okay? And we'll see that here in a minute when you look at the timestamp directly from the x-rays, and they were time-stamped before they're ordered, okay? Before they're ordered or reordered, okay? And especially the foot here at 11:27. Now remember, they wasn't ordered until 11:37 by the ER doctor, and then reordered by User Interface at 11:41. But they're time stamped here at 11:27. Okay, the foot X-rays, and so. I think it's really important we identify who User Interface is, that obviously that's who's faking x-rays, but we can't get that person identified. And if they'll fake my x-rays, like I said, there's millions of dollars being made. They're faking your x-rays. We need to know how many people's x-rays they faked. Okay. This is, I really have it focused on this guy's name. It's another doctor, Dr. Cornell. But I ran across it this morning. Dr. Cornell read my x-rays at 11:27. Now remember that's before they're even ordered or taken. Okay. And so so this doctor, radiologist, is reading x-rays that are not even taken yet, ordered or reordered by user and interface. Okay. So we went all over that. But basically you're going to see it, Dr. Thomas Cornell. And another interesting thing is, because this is a database, whatever, the medical record, when you go back and you look at one of these records, then it timestamps it. And for whatever reason, old brother-in-law, right, of the ex-wife, goes back and he looks at it. He wants to look at this record a month after I left at the hospital. Now, why would you think that the ER doctor would want to go back a month later and look at that record? Well, I think I got an idea. Okay. This is interesting. I just found this last year. This is an EOB, explanation of benefits. Comes from my medical insurance company, okay? And it's for Dr. Hinton, and it is dated for services on January 28, 2012. Dr. Hinton's a radiologist, right? He's the one who reads x-rays, and he billed my insurance company for x-rays, and his name is found nowhere on the medical records at the ER that night. And so the question's been asked if Dr. Hinton maybe is user and interface. Nobody knows. Is Dr. Hinton user and interface? And okay, I want to go here. Okay, 4 months later, I had my personal doctor order some x-rays because I was suspecting that they had faked my x-rays at the time I was doing investigation and all this. And what this is a radiology report, okay, and it's from Dr. Hinton. I'm gonna show you at the bottom. Okay, he's the reading doctor. Okay, and right there. Okay, and I'll show you what he said. Okay, here's what he did: gunshot wound injury date on 1/17/12, and he compared it to other X-rays from 1/19/12, and all the metal fragments in there and all that. Right. The problem is I was shot on the 28th. He was looking at x-rays, wasn't my x-rays. I think this is the guy's foot. The guy that's missing his heel bone before surgery. I think the one they took his x-rays and his foot and they put my name on it right there. So I think somebody else was shot with a shotgun in the same foot as I was, and that's the foot in the faked x-rays right there. And maybe Dr. Hinton could tell us that, or somebody up there could. Somebody. Okay. The OR staff, well, maybe they saw something, right? Okay, I had 2 surgeries, okay, and one was right after I shot. It was on the 29th because I shot late on the 28th. And here's the name of everybody in there minus the surgeon. Remember, I took out the name of the surgeon and the ER doctor. So one of these people, they might know something about intentional maiming and mutilation, crippling a crime victim for life to cover up a home invasion and premeditated capital attempted murder that secret police were involved in. Okay, and this is the second surgery. And once again, here's some people that if you're an investigator and you're trying to stop, crimes, then you might want to ask these people, hey, did you see anything? Did you see something funny like, faked x-rays and cutting body parts off a crime victim, etc. Okay. Well, after all this, okay, came the repeated and desperate attempts to get me to agree to a below-the-knee amputation. Now, I'd already been through a partial amputation. I didn't find out they cut my heel bone out until like 3 or 4 months later. I wasn't told at the hospital. I actually thought I was going to come back and be normal again, and it wasn't going to be crippled. I didn't know that. It was in a split. Okay. And so I didn't even know. They didn't tell me that I had a partial amputation, but then they come back and over and day after day after day after day after day after day, they wanted me. And you'll see that on the medical records are on timestamp. And this went on for several months. I mean, I've got a record from March where they're trying to talk me into doing a below the knee amputation. And I keep telling them no. And I believe they were wanting to cut off the evidence. They didn't want anybody to see what they did. Okay. And so I turned them into the Texas Medical Board. That's what this is, the TMB. Okay. And this is in 2015. I said Texas Medical Board. They said they're sending it to the enforcement division. We need you to be patient. Okay, you be patient. Well, I need to be patient, but remember that these people are faking X-rays and dismembering crime victims. I've never heard back from them since. I also contacted. And I think I hear. I did at the beginning where I told Strain, the Texas Ranger Strain and the FBI. Okay. And then finally, okay, here's what I walk around on now. Okay, and these are recent pictures. This is just a month or so ago. Okay, and so you see me limping around, but keep in mind that my heel bone's gone, and you know why my heel bone's gone? It's because the other guy was missing his heel bone, and so they needed to make it look like the faked X-rays. And this isn't acceptable. It is not. You can obstruct justice, you can do the cover up, you can stall, whatever. But this is a premeditated, capital attempted murder. Nobody accidentally broke into my home and accidentally shot me. That was on purpose. Okay, this home is rigged, and many others around here. So we need legitimate law enforcement to do something.